Like, you out here claiming all these bodies in your music. Then y'all really gotta be doing that for real. That's exactly what Boo One and Pooh Shiesty were handing off to each other. You feel me? He straight up said he feels like the only rapper out here with more bodies than him is on some shot calling, underscoring his vibes. 'Cause there's no way he actually talking about doing it. And when you say that, you can't just say it. Because Lil Boosie now finds himself under potential federal eyes, and the entire hip-hop world is shook. And all this chaos, it's cause his own protege dropped his name in a convo that could literally ruin everything he built. Behind Pooh Shiesty's flashy, comeback-ready posts, he was running his mouth about body counts, which forced Boosie to publicly check him for the first time ever. The real story behind how this beef blew up is darker than anyone imagined, and we're about to break down how a single Instagram caption might have just reminded the feds why they wanted Boosie locked up in the first place. Yo, what's good, fam? We about to dive into some real street politics, shaking the hip-hop world, and possibly ending one of the tightest partnerships in the game. Before we get into this wild mess, let me be real with y'all. Social media has been buzzing about Pooh Shiesty's latest post, where he straight up said he got more bodies than every rapper except Boosie. But listen, we about to separate the facts from the lies, the real from the fake, and show why this ain't just another rap beef. Nah, this is federal cases, real investigations, and real consequences. March 2024, this is when the whole dynamic between Pooh Shiesty and Boosie changed forever. This Memphis artist just got home from federal prison, flexing on Instagram, showing off his new grill, and dropped a caption that shook the rap game to its core. Hold up, don't get it twisted thinking this is just typical rap flexing. Boosie literally just won a major federal case, walked away on probation, no serious prison time. But here's the twist. His own protege just dragged him back into a combo the feds were building. The street's been buzzing about this, and sources say this was either Pooh Shiesty's biggest mistake ever or a calculated move to separate from Boosie. Either way, consequences are coming hard for both of them. Check this. March 3rd, 2024. Pooh Shiesty's fresh out of federal prison, feeling himself, rocking his new grill. Posts a pic on Instagram. Look at him, clean, icy, flexing jewelry. But the caption? That's where the storm hit. Might be one rapper with more bodies than me, and that's Lil Bois, he wrote. In the streets, talking bodies ain't casual, especially right after federal charges. But Pooh Shiesty's case was different. He was supposed to stay quiet, rebuild smart, and play it safe. That boy Pooh Shiesty done woke up with a wild mindset after some intense dream last night. One commentator said he went online and gave Boosie his flowers, demonic flowers that Boosie's always wanted from other artists. But this story, it goes way deeper than street cred. Talking bodies and hats and rap ain't just reputation. This is about real federal cases, real investigations, and consequences that can lock people up for life. Memphis streets reacted immediately, and they weren't feeling Pooh Shiesty's claims. Ain't nobody believing he actually did it. This is about shot calling, not triggers. Word is, Pooh Shiesty was more about paying for hits than doing the work himself. The Memphis response? Brutal. Multiple people from his own city came forward saying, if you got all these hats, where the bodies at? Ain't no way y'all hiding all these bodies from the streets. Nah, for real, y'all gotta be doing something wild if you talk like that. But some said it stronger, like, who's to say you got more hats than 4L and his crew or 21 Savage and his squad? A bolder statement would have been, out of all the Memphis rappers, I got the most hats. But you can't say that now, 'cause Push already said something about crushing everything in the streets. This ain't just Memphis politics. It's about Boosie, a man who literally navigated one of the most complicated federal cases in hip-hop history. Back in 2009, Boosie was staring down first-degree murder and conspiracy charges that could have locked him up for life. The feds built a case around his alleged ties to multiple homicides through his associate, Michael Marlowe Michaelowing. An East Baton Rouge parish grand jury indicted Torrance Hatch, a.k.a. Lil Busy, on first-degree murder charges. Boosie, a girlfriend, a former Dixon Institute guard, an inmate were indicted on drug charges. Michael Lowing and Adrian Pittman also faced first-degree charges for Terry Boyd's murder. Understanding the Marlo Mike situation is key to seeing why Pooh Shiesty's Instagram post was so dangerous. Marlo Mike, allegedly a 15-year-old hitman, was accused of carrying out multiple murders on Boosie's orders. Prosecutors claim Boosie put bounties on people's heads, and Marlo Mike pulled the triggers. The case painted Boosie as the mastermind of a murder-for-hire operation spanning multiple victims in years, including Terry Boyd. Eventually, Marlo Mike cooperated with authorities, saying Boosie paid him to kill at least 9 people between 2009 and 2010. The prosecution's picture of Boosie was terrifying, a full-blown criminal mastermind orchestrating hits. But here's the kicker. Boosie beat those charges. After years in court, fighting relentlessly, exposing holes in the prosecution's story, he walked away from potential life behind bars. The jury couldn't convict on the first-degree charges, and he eventually took lesser charges with time served plus probation. Real talk. Only people who actually pull triggers can talk heavy over shot callers. Boosie can't flex that with certain people. There's no comparison. For anyone doubting what beating federal charges like that means, remember, the feds convict 95% of the time. Winning meant serious flaws in the government's case or insufficient evidence beyond a reasonable doubt. The Marlo Mike case shows how the feds try to build murder-for-hire cases. Boosie allegedly picked targets, supplied money for weapons and travel, while Marlo Mike did the work. Prosecutors claim Boosie paid anywhere from $2,800 to $10,000 per hit. But the defense tore apart the circumstantial evidence, highlighted witness credibility issues, and exposed gaps in the government's timeline. When key witnesses contradicted themselves, the case fell apart. Now, Pooh Shiesty's post isn't just street flexing. It's flashing federal attention, reminding investigators about old cases that could be reopened. Analysts point out, if I'm a Memphis detective or a homicide investigator, I'm pulling informants, checking leads. Pooh Shiesty's words mean something. They might tie to unsolved cases linked to Chopper Gang and Push. This is the trap so many artists fall into. The authenticity that makes their music profitable also keeps them under federal watch. When Pooh Shiesty claims he's got more bodies than anyone besides Boosie, he's not just bragging. He's potentially giving investigators a blueprint to build new cases. Memphis commentary confirms how risky his claims really are. All the feds need are street documentaries. Bloggers like Trap Lord Ross putting pieces together. And suddenly what was social media hype turns into investigative gold.
Even if Pooh Shiesty's posts aren't directly admissible in court, they can lead investigators straight to witnesses, locations, and connections they might have never found through regular police work. For those who don't get how federal investigations operate in hip-hop, let me break it down. The feds don't just look at one incident. They connect across years. Social media posts, song lyrics, phone records, witness statements, all pieced together to show ongoing criminal enterprise. When Pooh Shiesty drops Boosie's name in the context of bodies, he's essentially reminding the feds about a case they couldn't quite close. Just because Boosie beat the charges doesn't mean the investigation is dead. New evidence or witnesses could bring parts of it back. Street analysts highlight another layer. The only people who can truly expose rappers and those talking heavy? Homicide detectives. If you're really official out here, applying pressure like some do, your name is always popping up to them. That's the price of real street credibility. Constant attention, constant investigation. When rappers like Pooh Shiesty brag about bodies, they're inviting scrutiny, not just for themselves, but for anyone they mention. Memphis' response to Pooh Shiesty's post was savage. Multiple people from his own city called him out, saying he doesn't have the credibility he claims. How you say you got the most hats and drop Boosie's name when he ain't even outdid Julio Filio or Young Ace War? They asked. One listen to Julio Filio or Young Ace songs shows way more victims in their tracks. That's dangerous for both rappers. If Pooh Shiesty's lying about his involvement in violent crimes, he could face charges for false statements or fraud. If he's telling the truth, he's confessing to serious felonies online. Either way, it's a lose-lose that puts everyone under unnecessary heat. Culturally, in street terms, having bodies or hats proves you've been involved in homicides. It's ultimate credibility, but it's also serious criminal activity. Talking about it publicly walks a tightrope between authenticity and self-incrimination. Commentary shows the reality. You might have millions of online fans, but real-life respect and fear from people on the streets outweighs likes and comments. Online, you just see it. In person, you feel it. But here's where federal law changes everything. Online posts leave permanent footprints, admissible evidence for court. Boosie's reaction proves how serious this got. Sources say he looked at the post and said, "Hold up, dog. What in the world is he talking about? I don't got no bodies. Don't put me in that conversation anywhere." That reaction matters. Boosie just beat federal charges and got probation instead of prison. The last thing he wants is his own artist dragging his name into unsolved homicide talk. It's not just disrespect, it's legal jeopardy. Boosie and Pooh Shiesty's relationship was built on mentorship, trust, and mutual respect, but this post shows Pooh Shiesty either didn't understand or didn't care about consequences. Street experts warn this could permanently damage their bond. When you work with other artists, they got crews, associates, and people around them who can be unpredictable. It's not like claiming self-defense. Once someone missteps, the internet inflates it. Fans hype you up, making you seem untouchable, gangster, or street credible. But in reality, one wrong post can unravel everything you worked for. The timing of Pooh Shiesty's post made everything worse. He just got out of federal prison and should have been focused on staying clean and rebuilding his music career. Instead, he's posting content that could drag him and anyone around him back into federal court. Multiple sources noted that homicide detectives could pick up leads from this post. Unsolved cases in Memphis and Louisiana could be reopened if investigators think there's new info or witnesses willing to cooperate. Even if nothing comes of it, the attention alone is dangerous for someone trying to restart their life and career. At the end of the day, Pooh Shiesty's situation isn't just about street cred or bragging on social media. It's about understanding that words have consequences, especially when federal crimes and other people are involved. The rap trap is real. The same authenticity that sells records and builds fan bases is the same energy that keeps artists under federal scrutiny. Posting about body counts and criminal activity isn't just entertaining fans. It can serve as evidence for federal prosecutors. Analysts call this the rap trap. Being street, being gangster, having an authentic story. That's what sells, but it comes with a price. You've got to live it every day, outside the studio, outside the camera. This creates an impossible situation for many artists. The stories that make fans connect and boost streams are the same stories that can be used in court. Boosie's reaction shows the wisdom and maturity that comes from surviving federal charges. He knows which conversations are worth having publicly and which aren't. His confrontation with Pooh Shiesty wasn't about disrespect. It was about survival and protecting everything he built. After navigating major federal charges and getting probation instead of prison, having your own artist drag your name into dangerous territory isn't just disrespect. It's potentially life-altering. The real question now: will Pooh Shiesty learn from this, or keep running down a path that could destroy his freedom and career? Hip-hop has seen too many talented artists fall because they couldn't separate their music persona from real-life legal strategy. For young artists, this is a lesson. Think before you post. Social media may feel like just entertainment, but federal prosecutors, homicide detectives, and law enforcement agencies are watching. What you post today can be used against you in court tomorrow. The relationship between Boosie and Pooh Shiesty might never recover. Trust is everything in street culture and the music game, and when someone puts your freedom at risk for social media clout, that trust is broken. Real talk. This could have been avoided if Pooh Shiesty just focused on music instead of proving street credibility online. His fans already believed in his authenticity. He didn't need to spell out alleged crimes to maintain respect. This situation also affects the broader hip-hop community. Fans will support you at shows and online, but when that realness leads to legal trouble, some of the same fans will turn on you. The federal implications go beyond Boosie and Pooh Shiesty. Other artists mentioned, like 21 Savage and Memphis rappers, could face increased scrutiny just because their names were dragged into this. The timing couldn't be worse. Pooh Shiesty was building a comeback. Boosie was enjoying freedom, and now both are dealing with unnecessary drama and potential legal fallout. What do you think about Pooh Shiesty's post? Could this lead to serious consequences for both him and Boosie? Was this a calculated move or just an ego-driven mistake fueled by social media addiction? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Click the content on screen for more analysis of hip-hop, street politics, and federal cases affecting our favorite artists. Stay safe out there, fam. And remember, real G's move in silence. The streets respect authenticity, but the feds will use that same authenticity to build cases that can ruin careers and lives. Choose your words wisely.